Record. Thank you, Grace. Thank you so much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This coffee is wonderful. Folgers coffee with Swiss Miss hot cocoa mix. Wonderful. Oh, and I'm down 10 pounds. What? I'm excited about that. Hey, okay.
Woohoo!
All right. Oh, I'm looking for, there's my list. Okay. I was looking for my participants. The screen looks weird when I don't have it up. All right. So this morning, Grand Rising, everyone, we're going to talk about humility and humbleness, or however you pronounce it. Now, these are virtues that involve a realistic and modest view of oneself and one's abilities. They are also often considered positive traits in personal and professional settings because they promote openness, receptivity to feedback, and a willingness to learn and grow. So basically, always being a student. Always being a student. Now, I'll be the first to raise my hand. Humility, and humbleness for a while was not my, it wasn't one of my strong points. If I put it that way, it was one of my strong points. Because for me, what you talking about? You know, I'm perfect. I'm great. I can do all things. No, I can't. But when we have this grandiose concept of who we believe we are, and when we have this grandiose concept of what we do for others, it falls back on being authentic with yourself. And being authentic with yourself will keep you humble and will keep you living in humility, because if you're honest with yourself, if you are looking at, okay, no, I really can't do that. That's a lot for me to do. Or no, that's just really not one of my strong suits. Then you'll be open to learning and open to growing. So we're going to have a conversation this morning, and we're going to talk about having humility and being humble. Now, one of the wonderful things that I have learned over the years, like one of the things about, yesterday we talked about staying a kid. One of the things about staying a kid is it keeps you open to learning and growing. But wait, before I do this, I can't believe I almost forgot. I want to tell y'all a story. And it's a story on transcending inconsistency. It's a combination of transcending inconsistencies and the verse I always tell you guys, Exodus 14:14. Yesterday, Mr. Antonio, and he did give me permission to tell y'all. He was actually, thank you, Miss Adonia. He actually gave me permission. He gave me permission to tell you guys this story, and he was absolutely honored that I even considered it. But I told him I was gonna do it because it aligned with what we're doing. So as you all know, Mr. Antonio T. Smith Sr. is Antonio's dad. And when I talk to you guys, I call him Mr. Antonio. But when I talk to him, I just call him Dad. And we were talking yesterday, and he was telling us a story, not a story, but an experience that he had. And again, this is about transcending inconsistencies and the Bible verse, Exodus 14:14. And just for a reminder, I'm going to do a quick, what are those notes called? I'm going to do
Cliff notes. Cliff notes.
Cliff note, yeah, a quick cliff note of Exodus 14:14. And it's not going to be a quick cliff note because it's a short Bible verse. But it says, I will fight your battles for you, but you just sit down and be quiet. And when Mr. Antonio told us this story, told us his experience last night, it completely aligned with what I've been telling you guys. So to the story. When in prison, they do what they call lockdowns, where they shut down a whole dorm or unit, and the gentlemen in there, they have to either go to one location and stay in that location, or they keep them in their bunks. They call cubicles, because they actually live in like little cubicles. You know, they don't have the luxury of living in a room like us. They have little cubicles that they stay in. And they started lockdown for them. Today is Monday. So during this process, there are policies and procedures that they must follow. They're supposed to put all of their belongings in a crate. Their items cannot go past the lid of the crate. They're supposed to put their commissary, which is their food, in a bag, and they're supposed to keep all their hygiene and stuff on a shelf. Well, first off, this entire lockdown was the complete opposite of anything Mr. Antonio has experienced in the last, 22 years he's been in there. So after 2 decades, they did something completely different. So of course, that's an inconsistency in itself, because they are used to certain policies, procedures, and guidelines when they go on lockdown. So Mr. Antonio did what he was supposed to do based on 22 years of experience. And this is a part of having humility and staying humble as well, because as you listen to the rest of the story, you'll see if he didn't have a certain air about himself, this could have been completely different. So he did everything he was supposed to do, but the first thing they did different was they gave them the crates for them to pack their stuff up prior to coming out of their cubicles. Whereas before, they were supposed to just bring all their stuff down, rush to put it in the cubicles then. So he had the time to put everything where it's supposed to be nice and neat. So when he goes back, he can put everything back up nicely. So he did that. And when they called him down, he was in line. Now that he's in line, the officer who is running everything is like, you can't do this. What is this right here? This is not supposed to be in this bag. When he was talking about his commissary, so he said everything was supposed to be in the crate. And he's like, in his head, he's like, well, that's, he told me, said, well, that's not how we normally do it. This is how we normally do it. That's why it's like this. He wasn't arguing with him to tell him, no, this is what he was saying. He was explaining it's like this because this is how we've done it for 22 years. He didn't argue with the guy. He told him, he said, okay, I got you. Let me go ahead and do what I need to do. So he was putting everything in there, but it put him over the lid of the crate. So now the guy's fussing at him. Hey, it can do da-da-da. And so Mr. Antonio's like, no, I understand. Let me go through and pull out the stuff that won't fit. So he started pulling out everything. He put his commissary bag in it, and the guy was like, well, no, it can't. He was putting the stuff that wouldn't fit into his commissary bag. And the guy was like, no, it's not supposed to go in there. And he's like, I understand what you're saying. I'm doing what you're telling me to do. Everything in this bag, I'm going to give to you. And so Mr. Antonio started pulling out his books. Now he is a pastor. He has a high level of respect, and he is watched and loved by all the men in his dorm. And he is now in what they call the faith-based dorm. Antonio, and you guys helped. Antonio sent him like 50 some odd books, and we still have more to send on biblical commentaries, study Bibles, and other types of biblical and spiritual books to assist him in his studies. So he started pulling out the books. And as he's pulling out the books, he's putting commentary into his bag and putting other things into his bag to give to the guy. And the guy was like, well, that's your food. Why don't you just put the books here and da-da-da? And Mr. Antonio told him, he said, no, because the guards even asked him, they said, when they started seeing the books, it was like, well, are you a pastor? He was like, yes, I am. These books are my lifeline. So he started putting the books into the crate, going around, and he started putting his commissary, his food, more food into the bag. And he was giving the guard the bag, and the guard was like, well, why don't you just put your food in here and just leave the books? And Mr. Antonio told him, he was like, no. He's like, if I have a choice between who I am and eating, I'm going to pick these books all day, every day. So he left his food, got his stuff, and walked off, and everybody's just staring at him. Well, later, mind you, his back is to everyone. He has walked away from the situation at peace. He did what he was supposed to do in harmony and everything. And mind you, he kept telling us any other person would have gotten irate with the officer, with the guard, would have started an argument, all this kind of stuff. And he even went as far as to tell us, when it comes to food, people poke holes in their paper, in their chip bags. Y'all know the little bags. They poke holes in them to deflate them, and sometimes even crush their chips just to make it fit inside of their crates so it doesn't go over. They'll get rid of everything else but keep their food. Mr. Antonio got rid of his food and kept everything else, because those books are his lifeline because of who he is, and he stands firm with who he is. So he's walking away, and one of the guys that was behind him, after they finished with him, they come up, and he told him, he said, first off, he told him, he said, see, this is why I follow you, because you are a living example. Then he told him, he said, after you left, because there was a woman guard up there too, after you left, a woman guard came up to the guy and told him, he was like, man, you can't give that guy a break. That's his food. He needs to eat. And mind you, Mr. Antonio never argued, did what he was supposed to do. When he was met with an inconsistency, he stayed humble. He showed humility. He did what he was supposed to do within these inconsistencies, and he kept moving. He got his food, because what happened was the woman guard went to the male guard, and said, hey, I just told y'all that. She said, hey, give the guy a break. He needs his food. He got to eat. And she couldn't override the officer that she was with, because they were both like on the same level. So she went above and went and got their supervisor to come in to overturn the decision. So there's a lot of lessons in this story. But the first lesson I want y'all to understand is, in the inconsistency, after 22 years of experience in this inconsistency, Mr. Antonio stayed humble. He never argued. He never fussed. The only thing he did was explain to the guard, I'm doing exactly what you're telling me to do. The second thing is Exodus 14:14. God fought Mr. Antonio's battle for him through that female guard. And Mr. Antonio kept his mouth shut and didn't say a word. And he won. When you trust, first off, when you're authentic with who you are, you make decisions that normal people don't make. How many of you would have given up your food for books? Because to the outside view, all he had was just some books. There was a lot of them, but he had some books. How many of y'all would have given up your books just to make sure you see your next meal? I ain't gonna lie. I would have been like, man, look, take these books, give me my food. I'm gonna go on about my business. Okay. Yeah, me too. How many of you would have argued with the guard?
I'm scary. No. That would.
I didn't like. I would have. I'm that one. I'm so hard headed. It ain't even funny. But I'm that one. I would have been like, but this is how it's been going. This is how we've been doing it for 22 years. That's not how we did it. The last lockdown, we didn't have to do it. I would have had questions. Why? I didn't do it like I did it just how I'm supposed to do it. So why are you getting on me about what I did? I did right.
Pinky.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Look, we would have went toe to toe because look, I'm used to doing it this way. When I came in here, they were doing it this way. So why y'all going to change now over 20-something years? They probably would have had to hit me or put me in the hole because I'm stubborn. I'm used to doing it my way, and this is being transparent. I'm being on the sword.
Thank you.
Renee could tell you I'm stubborn. I want it my way sometimes, and I guess because she spoiled me like that. You know what I'm saying? But she whooped my butt, but still, she spoiled me. But I want it my way, and I would have been like, nah, let me talk to somebody else because I'm used to doing it this way.
You sure you sure we ain't related? Cause yeah, that would have been me too. That stubborn. Me and Grace was talking about that the other day. I'm a
yes, you two are related. Yes, you two. Yes. We black, we all family.
Come on, Renee. I am a fixed earth sign, which means the only time I'm gonna move is when I feel like it. You not gonna sway me. You not gonna move me. If it's set in my head, this is what it is, this is what the hell it is, okay? But Mr. Antonio, after 22 years of consistency, the moment he was hit with inconsistency, what did he do? He was humble. He had humility. He was calm. The only time he said something was when he was explaining to the guard that he was doing exactly what the guard told him to do. And not only that, because he's true and authentic to himself, he understood, I have a choice to make. This is the easy choice for me because I know who I am. So this inconsistency is not going to move me or shift my vibration. See, when you show humility and when you are humble, that means you have a realistic and modest view of who you are and what your abilities are. How many of you, and I'm gonna jump on the sword. How many of you, like me, have this grandiose, well, used to, no, still do, have this grandiose idea of who you are. They call it narcissism. I'm a narcissist. I have a grandiose view of who I am. Now I am learning humility and how to be humble. Humility and being humble are learned traits for me, okay? But I'm understanding them because at some point, when you get knocked down a peg, so many times you start to sit and be like, okay, wait a minute, maybe I'm not ass. Maybe I do have some things I need to work on. But it's not a negative thing to be humble and have humility. It's being like a child, staying open to learning and growing. When you have humility, you stay receptive to new ideas, new perspectives, feedback from others. So if you're not open to new ideas, if you're not open to new perspectives, and if you're not open to feedback from others, you have no humility, no humbleness. Your narcissism is like on fleek. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm here today. Let's do it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know, when you know you good at something, can't nobody tell you you not. Can't nobody tell you you not. But that's being arrogant. See, one of the things to consider when it comes to staying humble and having humility is resisting the arrogance and the close-mindedness. Now, there's a difference between arrogance and confidence. There is a difference. For me, if I get to a certain point and I'm like, and I'm always winning, I get arrogant. I'm not gonna lie. How many of y'all do that? Like, if you constantly winning, you be like, I got this. You can't outdo me.
Maybe that's why I have not yet consistently won all of the time. Maybe that's the reason why, because I might start to get a big head, but then I feel like sometimes I think I keep in my mind too that sometimes you can be up today and you can be down tomorrow. So I think at times having that mindset, and I'm just like, hey, I ain't trying to be cold to other, you know what I'm saying, to people, because you reap what you sow. And I don't want to be like, yep, all y'all need me. Everybody on this call need me. You know what it is. And then I look up and I say, let me roll 20,000 to tomorrow. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You can ebb and flow just like that. So I'm like, no, because I've seen people do that where they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, and then they were asking me, Renee, I need some money. Well, I thought you
So proud of you. So proud of you. But that means you practice humility. Again, humility and humbleness are virtues that involve a realistic and modest view of oneself and one's abilities. So Renee is saying, hey, sometimes I'm up and sometimes I'm down. That is a realistic and modest view of herself and her abilities. But then you have confidence. Confidence is that thing that you know, not with a grandiose view of who you are, but you just know in your soul, I got this. No. I got this. And you not going around saying, shh, I got this. I'm the sh-. No, you're saying, no, I got this. Because you know that right there, I can do. That's still having a realistic and modest view of yourself without a grandiose view of yourself. And people confuse confidence and arrogance because while it may look the same, the motives behind it are different. Arrogance is the opposite of humility. And it can lead to an inflated sense of self-importance and close-mindedness. See, when you're arrogant, you're not open to nothing. But when you're confident, you're open to ideas. You're open to feedback. You're open to what someone may have to say. But when you're arrogant, you're less likely to seek out knowledge, to ask. You're least likely to ask for help if you're being arrogant. But if you're being confident, you'll ask for help. That's the difference. So being humble and having humility is having confidence with an open mind.
And Deanna, well, I went to school with a guy and he always thought that he was, and we was in middle school, and he thought that he was God's gift to women. And I'm like, I could not stand him. And he was actually visibly somewhat good looking, but his attitude made him look like a pencil, because he had like a, you know what I'm saying, like a real scrawny neck, but he had a big head. I was like, man, it just made him look like a creep, because he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Whereas some of the other guys, they was just real cool, they were real sweet, but they was fine, but they was just real cool. They was just confident. I don't know what, but him, Micah Washington.
Don't say the bad name.
I remember him, and I said, "Woo!" And I remember asking a girl, I said, "I wonder what happened to him." And he was in jail. Well, he was in prison at the time, and I said, "Dang!" And I thought, said that same attitude that he had in middle school kept following him, because I found out he was for sexual assault. And I said, oh man, I was like, oh God, that's not good. But I was always like, he walked around like, but yet it was, to me, it was always somewhat the quiet guys that had that quiet confidence about them. And they were like, oh, and they knew they was the cat's meow, but they didn't put it out that they was the cat's meow. And everybody just kind of flock to him because Prophet is that person. He's got that quiet confidence, but yet it brings you in like a tractor beam. It's like, but
it's not arrogance.
Yeah, it's confidence, and I love confidence, but arrogance is like, it's very unattractive. You like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm like, you can know you got it going on. Like, I know I got it going on, but I don't have to prance around it like every woman on here, y'all fair in comparison. I'm not gonna say that, because everyone's beautiful, but you know what I'm saying? So you just have to know who you are. I mean, don't be, everybody puts their pants on the same one leg at a time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, good grief. But that dude was always arrogant. Woo. Lord.
Now, first off, Renee, when you said he looked like a pencil and he had the big head, I pictured a number 2 pencil.
I'm really glad you did.
With
That's what I was going for.
With legs, arms, and eyes. And y'all know the extra erasers we used to buy so we wouldn't use up.
That's right.
That went on to, when she said he had a big head, I pictured that eraser on top. And then I pictured him walking down the hallway like this. And then he would flex his little drawn on arm, and then he have the little, his arm would do this, it'd go like this, and it have the hump. It like, it wasn't nothing there, but it just had a little hump where his little muscle was.
That's exactly what he had, because we was like 13, you know what I'm saying? So he had no muscles. He wasn't like chiseled. He was just more like a speed bump with a little bit of, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Not the speed bump. Not the speed bump. Oh, baby. But that,
Can I add,
yes, please, Sandra, please do.
not to Renee's description, because oh my God, but but one of the things that is difficult to help people, children, to know the difference between is that arrogance and that being confident,
Mhm.
you know, just being what's that other word?
Humble,
No, oh my God.
having humility.
Narcissistic.
Oh, gotcha.
So when you are, because arrogance pulls you over into that area,
Yes,
and
does.
it begins with when you become so over the top, where you're willing to cut people down like you're a lawnmower. That becomes your walk.
Yes, it does.
So that narcissistic attitude will creep up on you, and you cannot be told anything. You can't be, because you already know.
Yep. And if
You
somebody did
already know.
something, they got you messed
And
up.
the bad thing about it is what you think you know, because you don't already. It's that you don't know. So it's a falsehood about it. It's like pulling that one straw and everything falls, like that game. Like, fuck it up. And it would make everything fall, just that one little straw.
Mhm.
So knowing that those things could drive into someone becoming narcissistic is such, what you call it, like in the movie, it's a thin line between love and hate. Just push right on over. I just wanted to put that in.
No, thank you. I love it when y'all share. Thank you so much. Yep, the cat's me out. So I'm a narcissist. I have a grandiose view of who I am. The more because like yesterday we talked about being authentic with yourself, being vulnerable. We talked about that yesterday. And the more that I am authentic with myself, the more that I'm vulnerable with myself, the more that I stop hiding myself from myself and admit my dark side and my light side, the more humble I become, the more I show humility, the more I Exodus 14:14. But I'm a narcissist. And I'm going to tell y'all how I got that way. I'm arrogant. I'm going to tell y'all how I got that way, and I'm closed-minded. See, as a kid, when you are the first child, when you are the first grandchild, and when you are the baby of the grandchildren, you have a tendency to get what people call spoiled. And in this process of spoiledness, I'm daddy's girl, mommy's twin, the only boy's daughter on one side, and I'm the first granddaughter on the other side. you are so precious, and everybody just flocks to everything that you do. Like, you are the bee's knees. And then growing up, the word no doesn't quite exist for you. Like, I was in elementary school with a full-out stereo system. It had a DVD, it had a 5-disc DVD changer, a two-deck tape player, and a radio. Then I had 2 speakers at the top and 2 speakers on the side. Like, I had a whole stereo system. In elementary school, what elementary student kid needs a whole daggone stereo system? In elementary. We were the family that went on the vacations. Like, we went on vacation, like every summer. We was on, I hadn't been to Disney World, I hadn't been to San Antonio, I'd have been to California, I'd have been to Las Vegas. Let me rephrase, I'd have been to Disney World twice. I'd have been to Vegas. I've been to Baja, Mexico. I've done a lot of things that a lot of kids my age didn't have access to. I've met Sheila Jackson Lee. I've met Emmett Smith. I've met Lamont Rucker. If y'all don't know who he is, y'all just go ahead and hop on over to Meet the Browns by Tyler Perry play. And some of the Tyler, he the tall chocolate one. I met him. Dude is tall too, like 6 foot. Like, I had to look up, basically. Girl, yeah, that one.
Oh man, the man that always does all the runs, the chocolate drop. Oh
Yeah, the tall one.
yeah.
I've
What was
met
his
him.
name? Terrell Carter.
Not him, Lamont Rucker.
Oh,
See, y'all, why y'all gotta make
On
Thank you.
Meet the Browns, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
him.
movie.
Him.
The movie. Okay, because Terrell Carter was in the play. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I met him. I've also met, if y'all remember Kid and Play, the chocolate one, I met him.
You met Kid.
I met Kid.
No, that's Slay.
No,
Play.
that's Play. Dang
Yeah.
it. They're both named Christopher. Dang it.
They are both named Christopher. I've met Play. Who else have I? Like, I've met Chip and Dale from Rescue Ranger, not the Chippendales, okay? Not the dancers. I'm talking about
That's what I went to, the Rescue Rangers.
exactly. And I'm saying this because from the ages of 5 to like 21, these are the experiences that I've had. I did Candy Stripe. I've met 7. I thought you were talking about counting. I've met 7-figure doctors. I've sat in dinners with some of the top people in Galveston County. Like, I literally sat next to Sheila Jackson Lee at a ceremony for the first Black surgeon in Galveston. Like, these are the things that I've done. And I'm saying all this for a reason, because I need y'all to understand where my arrogance and my narcissistic personality came from. So you can't tell me, and I'm high yellow with freckles. You can't, and I was cute as a button. I was a size 5. 115 pounds. Cute as a button with the button nose, looking like a Cabbage Patch doll. Everybody, oh my goodness, you're so adorable. Oh my goodness, you're so cute. Oh, you're just so cute. How the hell I'm not gonna have arrogance? How am I not gonna be narcissistic when everybody fawning over me? Come on. So as far as I'm concerned, especially when High Yellow was, y'all know that it was a phase in time where High Yellow was the only thing people was looking at. Come on. I was a high yellow chick with a small waist, big boobs, walking around looking like a Coke bottle with the long hair. Y'all think my locks long? When I had a perm, I was rocking it. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. So I had my confidence was smooth out arrogance. I was the bee's knees, the honey, the nest, and the queen. Come on, don't play with me. So you think I'm not going to be a narcissist? And then I met Antonio T. Smith Jr. And life changed. Because he told me, no, you're not the bee's knees. You great, but you're not the bee's knees. See, it took someone who was confident and humble with humility to put a mirror to my face and say, no, chick, no, ma'am. You good. Don't get me twisted. You good at what you do. But you ain't that good. And he didn't do it in a way to knock me down. He did it in a way to show me this the kind of leader you are. This the kind of mama you are. You ain't got no customers because this is who you is. And your customers are the same way. Every last one of my customers was narcissistic. Every last one of them fools was arrogant. The people that I associated with were just like me. But out of all of them, this one right here, yeah, I had it on lock. But I never learned anything. This grandiose view of myself stopped me from being authentic with myself. Because while I was great at this, I told y'all the other day, but I forgot to tell y'all that part too. Piano. I was so good at that. I got superior ratings every time I went to a competition. Let me tell y'all how deep my arrogance ran at the age and ran at. I started piano lessons with Miss Izola Collins in Galveston, Texas, when I was in elementary school. By the time I got to high school, I stopped playing because, I'm grown now. I need to do all that. By the time I got to high school, I stopped playing. So from elementary school to high school, I'd won 9 awards, 3 awards in each category. And it was with her, she knew what I was capable of. And she said things, but she couldn't quite say things because I could read music. So I didn't have to technically practice. Until I went to competition, I didn't practice. I would go to piano lessons. I would read the music and play it because I was that damn good. Again, there goes the arrogance. And all she could tell me was, she would point it out. She said, I know you hadn't practiced. She said, but don't let your talent go to your head. Just because you're that good does not mean you don't need to learn. But what did I do? All I heard was, all I heard was, you know I hadn't practiced because you're my teacher. You're supposed to know. But these other normies, they don't know. They don't know. So we just gonna let it make it. They don't know. And everybody else around me had to practice hard. I didn't. Everything always came easy to me. Again, that's where the narcissistic, the grandiose view of myself and the arrogance came from, because I have to work hard for nothing. It just came easy to me. But I never learned nothing new. The only time I learned something new was when it was in an area that I wasn't confident in. But once I got it, it was over. It was a done deal. No, I got that. Go ahead, move on my way. I handle this. And I lived that life for decades. When I started learning humility and being humble, I clashed with it. I clashed with it because I had to have a realistic and modest view of myself and my abilities. So the first thing I want to give to y'all for y'all to do it. This is homework, not for you to present back to me, but this is for you. This is your homework. Ask yourself if you have a modest view of who you are and what you're capable of doing. And then write out a list of your strengths and write out a list of your weaknesses. Because if you can list your weaknesses without lying to yourself, just like when I told y'all do the journal and don't lie to yourself, do the same thing here. I can do all things. No, I'm not God, but I am God. I can do all things. But what I can't do is sit and program a website for 20 hours a day. I can't do that. Do I know how to? Yes, because Antonio taught me. But if you pay me to do it, you're looking at about a good year to 2 years for you get your stuff. I'm just going to be real with you, because that is not one of my greatest abilities. Can I rip your skin off of you and put salt in it and then turn around and hug you and say, but it's going to be okay? Hell yeah, I could do that. Can I do it to myself? Hell no. So what are your abilities? And then after you write down your strengths and weaknesses, I want you to genuinely write out how you see yourself. Genuinely. Because once you are realistic and modest about who you are and what you can do, when you stop lying to yourself, when you stop living through your avatar, which I saw that movie, it was so awesome, then you will be able to learn and grow, because now you put yourself in a position where you know who you are. And when you understand that, you have a different level of respect for the people around you. Because you'll also understand that they are people just like me. So if I feel like this about this, then I'm sure they feel a certain way too. And then what that will move you into is being able to collaborate and show empathy towards others. See, humility enables you to relate to others with empathy and respect. But when you have a grandiose view of who you are and you ain't even give yourself a reality check, you won't consider other people. See, when you collaborate with others, and if you have empathy and respect for others, you create an environment where people can work effectively, where they can openly share ideas, where they can work together towards a common goal. When you acknowledge you don't have all the answers, when you're not arrogant, but you're confident, when you can do that, you recognize the value of others' contributions and perspectives. See, when you are like me and you have this grandiose view of who you are, you're a narcissist. And the worst kind are the empathic narcissist. We are the worst. Because not only do I have this grandiose view of myself, I wish I had an apple right now so I can. Not only do I have this grandiose view of myself, but I can feel your energy. So when you walking around here feeling some kind of way about me, I don't care. That's your problem, not mine. Because I'm the bee's knees. I'm the pencil with the extra eraser on top. Okay? But when I sit down and I when I don't lie to myself, when I acknowledge my flaws, it makes me more empathetic towards others and their flaws. Go ahead, Talisha.
Okay, so I have a few questions because
Go for it.
either I'm viewing it wrong, or I just need you to kind of explain the situation. Because you said when you're humble, you'll let people in and they'll be able to, you'll allow them to work with you. I had a situation and I'm just like, I'm trying to understand, and based off what you're explaining, was I being arrogant? Or I don't know. It's just one, when you talk about empath, being an empathic narcissist. I'm trying to figure out if I'm that, even though I feel people's energy, but then again, I get this thing of trying to figure out what I did wrong, you know what I mean? Or how I can help them when I feel their energy, if that makes sense. So I don't know if that's the same aspect of things.
So let me,
It's like I'm trying to fix things.
okay, let me answer that for you first. Okay, first off, y'all, I'm not Antonio, so I can't, you can't.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead.
he got the memory, like,
Yeah.
he got a memory like everything. So you could ask him like 15 different questions and he can go from, I can't do that to Leisha. I'm so sorry. So that's not one of my gifts. See, I have a realistic idea of who I am. That is not me. Okay. It depends on your motives. Everything is motive driven. So if you feel you can help this person, and it's spiritual, like in your soul, you're like, man, I can offer this person healing. It's also how you help. It's the motive behind everything. So I'm an empath. There are times that I will randomly hug Grace and I won't let go until I feel her let go. There's sometimes she asks me for a hug. And when she doesn't let go, I know that she hasn't let go of whatever's holding her, hurting her at the time. When I randomly hug her, that's because, okay, I know I have something that I can offer her to help her. But if I come at her, but like, Grace, look, this is what you need to do because you tripping. That's arrogance. That's me. Those are two different motives. The first motive is I have the confidence that I can help you. So I'm going to offer you healing, but it's your choice if you choose to take it. Antonio had to teach me that. The other one is, I know I can help you because you tripping. So come on over here, let me help you. And then I just start just running down the line what she should do. So when you're in that position and you know you can help, listen to that. This is where authenticity comes into play and being vulnerable with who you are. Listen to what this person is telling you. I don't know how to put that in words, but listen to I know how to put it. Listen to the Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost will tell you that person. The Holy Ghost will tell you that person. But if you just feel it and you walk up to them, then that's you living in your arrogance, saying, I got this. I've done that before and clashed with people. But when the Holy Ghost was like, that person right there, then the Holy Ghost will give you instructions on how to do it. So if you're going to someone to help them and it's not led by your empathy, you won't have instructions on how to proceed. But if it's led through the Holy Ghost, through your empathy, through your gift from God, you'll get instructions. I was at a conference, the very first time I ever really just tapped into my empathy. I was at a conference, one of the largest women's conference in the world. It was the Woman Thou Art Loose conference. I bumped into a lady and all I kept hearing was, tell her this, tell her this, tell her this, tell her this, tell her this. We went and prayed. I held her hand. And when I tell you that voice got louder and louder, and I'm sitting here like, my hands were like sweating because I was getting nervous. I'm like, how am I supposed to approach her? And the opportunity presented itself because after we all pray in a big group, what do? We turn around and hug each other. So I tapped her. And I smiled and she smiled and she kept walking. So I went to her again. I tapped her and I did like this. The universal questions, the universal thing of give me a hug. And I hugged her. And when I hugged her, I told her what I was supposed to tell her and she just broke out crying. See, I had instructions on what to tell her. But there are times where I went to talk to Grace with no instructions. And I promise y'all, after I finished that conversation with Grace, I was all kinds of bees. She ain't gonna say it, but I know, because I felt the energy coming off of her. I had her messed up. I had her completely messed up. I went to her with no instructions. I wasn't supposed to go to her. So to answer that first question on how if you have instructions following, if they're heavy on your heart, because there are times where I have randomly texted people because they were heavy on me and I was told to check on them. That's when you move as an empath. But if you go at it, and when you do it that way, you're doing it with humility and being humble. But when you go at it and you just go because you feel it and you know what you're doing and you got this, that's when you're acting in your arrogance. And that's when it not only does it hurt you, but it hurts the person that you're supposed to help. Because that person may not be ready for it. When the Holy Spirit tells you that person, that means that person is open to receive help. So I hope that, okay.
That right there, Pinky, is also and true, because sometimes in your gift of your energy, your gift, whatever you want to call it, like I said yesterday, language, it's powerful because sometimes people are looking for a word and then somebody that you just don't. I've been in service and, been in worship, and somebody I don't even know, I'll get a word. And then when it's time to release it, I'll release it. And then like after service, they'll come back to me and be like, who told you that? I said, God told me. Because I'm in that type of, they ain't going to receive energy. They ain't going to receive your ancestors. Your ancestors came to me and told me to tell you this. So, but yeah, so it's so powerful that you have to really listen and know when to give it and when not to give it. Because sometimes when you give it before time, it can hurt that person before it could bless them.
Ashe. Thank you so much, Prophet. Thank you so much. So I hope that answered the first question you had, Talisha.
Yes.
Let's move to the next one. If you need to write down your questions, write them down. We will go through every last one of them. If it's 50 questions, I got you. Just write them down so you don't forget them. I don't want you to forget them. But let's roll. I'm ready. Got my coffee and everything.
So my other one was, and I think I'm being vulnerable at this moment, but also I honestly, this is also has been a reason why it held me back from this failure, or I looked as a failure at the moment, is what I kind of stopped doing my business and put it on hold. And it's kind of like what you were telling me. And I just want to see if this scenario is fitting into what you were saying as far as being humble and allowing people to come in to help you. And so, not giving names, but it's not none of y'all on this call, but I'm just not giving names because y'all may know these. Yeah, I know y'all know these people, but we're just not people in the past, put it like that. So I had this event, and I don't know, Deanna, if I ever like privately told you this, but this is where my failure of success came from. But I had an event, it was for Easter, and had a group of people that were supposed to be on my team, and we were supposed to work together. Not put it on my, I don't say on my team, partners. We were supposed to be, a partnership. And we was hosting this event for kids in the park. And the goal for us partnering is to get the kids to sign up for the summer program, right? And I'm excited, they're excited. It's all these ideas flying around. We've spent numerous hours, late night, planning the event, all this stuff. The day of the event, we get there, and my thing is, I always try to make sure people, not only that I've done my part, but everybody else have done their part. Like, like that, it's like a checkup. Like, okay, is this done? Is this done? Is this done? Because the day of, I'm that imperfection, that perfectionist person. Like, we can't have no mistakes here. So when people don't communicate with me, like, oh, this has been taken care of, now I'm gonna think it's in my head, it's not done, and this is what we need to get complete. So however, long story short, I was filling out got the little forms, because that was my portion of it, to get the parents to sign up, the kid's name, getting all the information. We set up the booth, the money's there to put food and stuff out for the event. And the day of the event, I'm setting up the table. The lady gets there, and one lady, she was just like, I'm here for such and such event, right? And I was just like, yeah, you're talking about the Easter egg hunt for the kids, right? She said, yeah, for such and such, right? So it was just like, it was for that person. The other partner that was in there, she made it seem as if it was her event, not our event. And so when people would come, they would say, yeah, I'm here for what's the name event. I was like, you mean the event, so it's like she marketed it for herself. And then on top of that, it was just like when she had like these political leaders, people that were running for different offices and stuff, they came as well. And then I realized she was like, I was like, so, oh, the kids were coming in, everybody was coming in. And then she was like, she told me, I'm sitting at the booth, doing my part, waiting to sign the people up. She's like, oh, you won't need that. And I was just like, in my head, I was like, this is what this whole thing is for, is to get the kids, let them know what we're doing, why we're doing it. And then on top of that, sign them up, get the parents involved to sign them up or interested in, the etiquette class. She then says, oh, no, we won't be needing that. And then she goes and chit chats with the other political people that she has there. And it turned out to be their event. I totally lost control of the entire thing. And my agenda, or our agenda, that while we got this all together, did not happen. It basically, whoever the lady that was running for office, it became her event. And then she brought some more people, and they spoke over the whole thing. And I was just like, I feel like I partnered with the wrong people. You know what I mean? It's just like, so how do I combat that of, I'm being humble, I'm allowing people in, but it seems like I'm letting the wrong people in because they have their own hidden agendas than what we originally discussed, what we all came together for. She had her thing was, I'm not gonna say it because y'all may know, she had her agenda of what she wanted to do with girls, and I had agenda of what I wanted to do with overall boys and girls. So we thought that was a good collaboration, that we could both meet each other's needs, right, by partnering. But it turned out to a whole political party. And I was just so, I think, speaking of it right now, is just, I thought I was over it. That feelings are still there, and that fear of getting with the wrong people hurts.
Gotcha. So first, Antonio, can you have a list of questions that you have told us over and over again when we are considering partnerships? These are the questions we need to ask. Can you post those questions for us? I see your hand, Trinace. Can you post those questions for us? Pretty please. Second thing, I love you, Talisha, but I'm gonna say this. You know how I talk. So I heard a lot of my, me, control, I. When you're in a partnership, it's no longer me, I, control. But it also boils down to you being authentic with yourself. I can understand. I used to be the same way. I can understand not being afraid to collaborate with someone after that experience because you're afraid of losing control. In order to collaborate with someone, you have to have no control. It's a collaboration, which means it's a combination of mutual minds coming together to discuss one goal. So being nervous, yes. And then you said, I still have these feelings because you haven't released them yet. You haven't acknowledged the fact that first off, this woman pissed you off when she did that. Secondly, she hurt your feelings because you thought y'all were in it together. You haven't given that a voice. So that's why it's still coming back up. But going forward, when you are authentic with yourself, vulnerable with yourself, you will attract people that are the same, and those collaborations will be worth having. So you have to think about and consider, okay, what did I do wrong in that situation? Did we do weekly meetings leading up to it? Did we do this leading up to it? Were we open and honest with each other, or did we withhold information from each other? Not everybody is going to be like you, but when you ask these 6 questions that Antonio put in the chat, and you stick with these 6 questions, that will help you when it comes to your collaborations. But also understand, yes, ma'am, but also understand it's who you attract to you. Your vibration attracted someone to you who was going to screw you over because that's how you really felt. You went into that collaboration nervous about getting screwed over. So that was the vibration you were at, and you attracted someone who actually screwed you over.
Gianna,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to, and this, please forgive me if it sounds like I'm correcting. I just want to make
No,
one
please.
statement. The question I would reword a little bit that she might want to ask is, what could I have done different? Because the other one sounded like you're wrong. And it's not necessarily that she did something wrong. It's she could have done something different or better. And it just softens it up a little bit because she's already, knocking herself, down. I'm the problem. No, you're not the problem. You just didn't know something. So this is a learning opportunity for her to know what to do going forward. But it's just a little twist on what did I do wrong? It's what could I have done different? Sorry, that's just my brain.
Don't apologize. Okay, look, Miss Adonia is our resident, say it this way, it sounds better, person. So thank you, Miss Adonia. Please don't ever apologize. Thank you very much. What you could have done differently is, well, you've already started the process. From our personal conversations, you've already started the process. You're a completely different person today than you were then. Completely different person. What you could have done differently is now you vet those you're collaborating with. You do some research on them first. See how they actually do things. If they have an event coming up, attend the event to see how they flow and they function. Get experience in who they are first. Then you ask yourself these questions that Antonio posted, and then Antonio just posted what you believe you deserve, what you put out to others as well. So that's what you could just, Talisha, you deserve a world. You deserve to have your business, your organization nationwide. That's what you deserve. Feel that, walk in that, believe that, and that's what will come to you. But what you could have done differently is vet them a little more. Go and do. The first time I talked to you, I researched you. I found you on Facebook. I found you online, researched you, got some information about you before I talked to you. So I had a little bit of information to go by. When you are collaborating with someone, do the same thing. First, believe that you deserve what you're going after. Then research those people. There's so much online today, Talisha, you can find everything on these people, from addresses to, don't do this though. I'm just saying, it's don't be a mini stalker. Don't do that. Don't do that part. But there's so much that you can gather on them to see where their heart really is, and then have dinners with them. Like, before you say, okay, let's do it, have a few meetings with them, meet them outside of the workplace, have a dinner with them to discuss things, and just to get an overall aura of an overall, essence of who they are. And then ask yourself the 6 questions that Antonio posted in the chat for us. And from there, you can move forward from there. Go ahead, and then after you finish, Trinace, you're up.
Okay. So the reason why I originally trusted this person is because they was affiliated somewhere with y'all.
Oh.
That's what that was. And now I see y'all ain't dealing with half of these people no more. So that's what that was. And I was just like, now I get, because sometimes y'all do stuff and y'all know I disappear. I disappear from some time. It could be whatever's going on in my life. I disappear, but then I do always show up. And Antonio always said it. He's like, Talisha, he was just like, I don't know why you're here, but you're here, So it's just like, when y'all, whatever was going on, I was missing. I missed the whole thing. I came back, I was just like, oh, these are new faces. I don't see this, and this person. So I got burnt by an associate that was affiliated with y'all, but not affiliated. It was a person of a person, if that makes sense. So I thought, okay, they some kind of related to the people I'm dealing with. I can trust them. However, I couldn't, and so that's why I was just like, now I see why ATS do what they do. So yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to apologize for. I'm sorry, Talisha.
Don't.
Just keep going.
Don't apologize.
Trying not to say. I was like, I'm not giving no names because y'all know these people.
Yeah, no, you should. So what I'm gonna do is, Trinace, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Okay, so y'all know I'm at work. So, Talisha, I feel you. So that's why right now I have trusted people. So now I want to build a team, and it's difficult for me because I got to be constantly on guard for you. Now, I done tried to be vulnerable and, be open. And now you done stab me in the heart, not the back, but in the heart on something I really, really care about. So that makes it difficult for me to build the team that I know I need. And I see myself being vulnerable, being open, but I'm still kind of cautious. It's like, when you jump in double dutch, or when you have seen people jump double dutch and they turning the rope, and right, just like that. Do I jump in? Do I not jump in? So that, the whole thing of we are here as spirits, but having a human experience.
To be honest, that kind of fuck your human experience up when you know what your human experience is supposed to be doing. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Damn, people just be out here. Life just be life, and people be people, and it just kind of messes the whole thing up. So I said all of that to say what? Community is important. I'm gonna always say community is important. I'm gonna forever say community is important. And you can trust a person because you know somebody led you to them, somebody you trusted, but sometimes you gotta check them because you may not know everything about that person you trusted. And they just may be like that, just not like that to you. Don't Antonio say how you do anything is how you do everything?
Yeah.
So based on that, when you consider people be out here being one way and then they show up in a friend that you connected to, they just like that friend. They just didn't show you that yet.
Ticket number. That part. 653. Well, thank you, Trinace. Thank you, Trinace. Thank you very much. I'm going to speak from my experience only. Ooh. Okay. When you surround yourself with like-minded individuals, like Trinace said, it's still a human experience. So they have experienced things in their life that you have no clue what they have experienced. It's going to show up. But you only you attract who you are. This is what I had to understand. And so because of that, I'm a strong, again, Exodus 14:14. I'm a strong believer now. And if I stay focused on my purpose, the universe, God will put in my path the people who will help me in my purpose. But I still have to understand that they are having a human experience just like me. So where I have inconsistencies in my life, they have inconsistencies in their life. But if I stay focused on my purpose, I'm going to attract people who are staying focused on their purpose. And I can live in the understanding and the peace that we are all in our focus. So these inconsistencies that pop up around us will not affect our purpose. It'll only make our purpose grow. That's why everything starts with you. When you are confident in who you are authentic to yourself and vulnerable to yourself, you will attract those same people. And Talisha, from our conversations, the universe is constantly talking to you. God is always reaching out to you. From the dimes to the numbers. I do remember the dimes. From the dimes to the numbers, the universe is always talking to you. And because you are being more vulnerable with yourself, and because you are being more authentic with who you are, and you are releasing a lot of things, and you're just being honest. Yeah, I felt like doing it. That's what I wanted to do because I needed that point. When you are straightforward with yourself like that, you're keeping yourself open to the communications with the universe. So the universe, now what you do is you pay attention to when the universe puts somebody in your face, like Talisha, this person right here. Talisha, that person right there. When you are true to yourself and you stay focused to yourself, the universe, God will put the people in your face. I got to a point in life where I was like, God, what the hell am I going to do? This not working. I'm hurting. I'm tired. He stuck Antonio in my face. God, Lord Jesus. And he did that for all of y'all. We all here for that very reason. And because of that, I'm I'm talking to y'all today. So the greatest thing I can tell you is stay on your journey. Stay open like you've been open, and everything will flow to you. But also, I'm going to invite Mr. Antonio Tisna Jr. to speak on this as well, because his conference that's coming up August 17th, which is in today's 13th, which is in 14 days, is going to be all about this. So, Mr. Antonio, if you would mind gracing us with your vocals.
Yes, no problem. Obviously, you're doing a great job and been doing great jobs in my absence as I've been gallivanting all across the globe. Two immediate things here, and then it just gets better and better and worse, but that's kind of the point. Number one, I wouldn't work with half of y'all on this call. Like, number one, half of y'all on this call I wouldn't work with. While you have access to this call because you serve a purpose, I absolutely wouldn't work with you for reasons number two. You are, like, abundance is what you are, it's not what you have. So if you keep meeting people who screwing you over, it's because you screw people over. You're not going to admit that because you have trauma and narcissistic things about yourself, which leads me to a bonus point now, that everybody on this call, including me, you're the very thing wrong with this world. Everybody on this call, including me, you're the very thing right with this world. It's both. We have never, ever, ever been screwed over. Nobody has never did you wrong, Antonio, ever. That's not what happened. What actually happened was you attracted something and source guided you through that thing. That's how you're here. You're just complaining about it because you have not grown past your complaints. You could still be in it, but you're not. And instead of looking backwards and going, that was a great learning lesson, as Adonia said, you are, by you, I mean y'all are, or we are complaining about that very thing that made us wise today. How, like, we want to read a book and get wise, which makes no sense whatsoever. We want to wake up wise. Wisdom, the old preacher in Texas would say, knowledge comes from book, wisdom comes from God. Wisdom from God comes from pain. There is no ease in wisdom. You genuinely are on planet Earth to master your emotions while experiencing all that you desire. That is genuinely the only purpose that you have here on planet Earth, to experience whatever you want. You want to be gay? Run that. You want to be bi? Run that. Don't want to be gay? Run that. Want to be a Trump supporter? Run that too. And then master your emotions in that, and you will be just fine. And you go, well, you can't do that. Oh, well, it rains on the just and the unjust. What it does not rain on is the neutral. It does not rain. Blessings don't fall upon people who have not made a decision to experience life.
That lukewarm coffee.
Lukewarm, straddling the fence, a field that does not bear vines. Jerome's Jesus walked all the way to the temple, thought he saw figs on this tree, got out that temple, cursed that tree and said, hey, yeah, don't be like this. As a matter of fact, all Jerusalem is like this. From a distance, you look producey, but when I'm up on you, I gotta wither you dead. So unfortunately, everybody here is absolutely correct. There are no corrections that need to be made. And then also, fortunately, everybody here is absolutely correct. And that's the wonderful thing about life. If I could just squeeze into your head, you didn't come here to understand a single thing. And the more you keep trying to understand that, it's how many of you know understanding things is stressful and the process itself. Let me see if I can get some real folk. To understand something is stressful. Why he wasn't there for me when I needed him, and why she wasn't, and why he, yeah, it's stressful because that's source's job. When you start putting your neck in God's business, it gets heavy because God's neck is heavy.
Rewind. Press play because I got to go in the notes. Wait a minute.
When you start putting your neck in God's business, it gets heavy because God's neck is heavy. It is vitally important for all of you to recognize you did not come here to understand why you made these choices. You came here to enjoy them. And if you could just grasp that, I've learned to be a base and abound. Please tell me, Jerome, if I am so not outside the Bible. I'm really not. When you can just receive that, leaning on your understanding is against the very Bible that you worship. Lean not, is it the right, Jerome? Lean not unto your own.
He will direct our path. You gonna make me talk.
Come on, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6.
Do not come here trying to understand things. Your job is to trust that Spirit has never taken Sheena anywhere to hurt her. So enjoy that thing. There's 1,000 books about somebody trying to figure out the good and the bad. 1,000 books. But when we start saying, well, I want the answer, there's two things that immediately happen to you. Before I get to those two, let me tell y'all why I would never work with y'all. So there's 3 ways to work with people. I can do this, like you can listen for me and go on out there now. Or you can do it, with me, or I'll do it for you. Y'all exist with me on a going on out there now. That's not really working with me. That's the first level. Jerome, Adonia, Janice, Phil, Melissa, Sheena, Grace, Deanna, the Linsoms. I don't know if I said Susan because she's not on camera. I can work with these people. You know why? Because they buy at full price. You missed it. You missed it. I'll do it again. Because when they have something, guess what I do? I buy at full price. The rest of you genuinely sit, receive, which is your purpose, which is your job, and never give back, which is your purpose, which is your job, because all of you are not disciples. Some of you are still drinking milk. And why would I build a skyscraper with a milk drinker? I didn't say you don't deserve to be worked with. I said, I won't work with you. You're someone else's ministry. So I'm just a boot camp for you. You come here, you get fed, mad, and you're going on off, and you be better at another organization. But if you have the I pay full price spirit, you tell me everything about you. People who want a discount can't tell me anything about God.
Right.
You can't. What you gonna tell me? What you gonna tell me? Because that's lack. It's a lack of faith. You can't tell me anything. When you don't when you don't donate or give your tithes and your offering, whatever, you can't tell me anything about God. You can't. You can't tell me about the Torah, the Quran, the Bible. You can't, because giving is an act of faith. And if you don't give, and if you don't buy conference tickets, and if you don't do these things, or if you don't buy Adonia's tickets, I have no idea what she's selling. If you don't give to Jerome and buy his books, there is absolutely nothing in my created reality that I want you to co-create with me. And that's not wrong. It's just the understanding, Grace, that I understand I only pay attention to 5% of the energy in my life. The other 95% is just the background so I can enjoy my foreground. So while the novice would hear me and go, there he go, anybody who got some sense is like, you know what? That's quite respectable, actually. There is nothing wrong with the fact that when Adonia knows who she is, she stops entertaining what she is not. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Adonia demanding that I bring a certain energy into her life. Can I push that further? There is nothing wrong with Sheena creating energetic boundaries that keep people at bay. There's nothing wrong with that. I know for sure, with thousands and hundreds of thousands of conversations with Sheena, she repels narcissists just without effort. It's just something that she automatically does. She's just this little force field that just keeps them away. That's an energetic boundary. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to me. Oprah says you can't account for your energy, I will. I'm listening to the whole conversation. I listened to the one yesterday. The other ones, I was somewhere in the sky. I'm hearing all the brilliant things you're saying. I've already been on record by saying this 20 minutes ago, that everybody's right, but everybody's also wrong too. And the faster you get that, the faster you are able to enjoy this life. Anything I say about Jerome is 100% facts. It's also 100% wrong, because Jerome is so big, his spirit fills the room. And so is Talisha. Like, how can I know all about God? And Jerome is God. So when I think, and this is how arguments happen, when I think I'm right about Adonia, the moment I think I'm right is the moment I stop Grace. Because you can't be right and be in grace at the same time. Grace is strategically enjoying being wrong about somebody so they can grow at God's pace.
Wait. Repeat that, please.
Grace is strategically being wrong about somebody so they can grow at God's pace. I know what you did to me. All right, that's at the moment I know what you did to me. Is the moment I'm no longer letting you grow at God's pace. That's why I said earlier, nobody ever hurt you. Nobody hurt you. Your perception hurt you. See, Talisha, what was the real problem was, whoever that was, used you because you were a magnetic frequency to be used. Therefore, the problem wasn't them. The problem always will always be you. Because we get into partnerships expecting to be used. No, I don't, Antonio. Why are you vetting all these people? Because you're expecting only one of them to rise to your standards. Here's a much easier way to do this. Be that Adonia, be that Jerome, be that Phil, and you will only get more Phils. There's the easier way. That's the far easier way, is to become the very thing you want to attract. I can assure you, Talisha, if you give me your business right now, it would not look the same in 6 days. I don't even need a week. I will rest upon the 7th and fundamentally create you a whole legacy that you can walk right into. I just need 6 days with your business.
Do it. Do it.
Well, I wasn't necessarily an offer, but
Oh, my
bad.
bad.
But my ego does here challenge, and I would do it and I'll do it. If you let me record it all, I'll do it. If you let me record it all, I'll do it. I say what I said. Now, Napoleon Hill says, if you can't make a decision within 60 seconds, yeah, I ain't got nothing to do with that. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But if I can record every step of the way, I'll do it. I sure will. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
What you do is you also ask for that recording and use it as a journey to what you're doing as content to bring people in so you can draw in your audience.
Got it.
Absolutely. I just want to say 2 more things and then you can have it back. I want to talk about relationship. Most of the conference.
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Most of the, like 100% of the conference on the 17th is about relationships, because 100% of this world is about relationships and how we coexist with relationships. So if you have money problems, you have a relationship problem with source. That's your real problem. There's no, because money doesn't matter. I won't try to confuse you. I'm just going to tell you that when it comes to God blessing you, you have a serious relationship problem with God in that area. That's the real problem. That's the real problem. Your money is short because somewhere in your head, you believe God bless everybody else but you. We can just keep it real. I'll just cut right to the chase. We'll just plow through this field real quick when we won't even go straight up and down. We're going diagonal. Your problem is you think when it comes to you getting blessed, you have to work harder, as if your God is so bipolar that you need to prove yourself. None of you would actually serve that kind of God, but you let preachers like me tell you prove yourself every day. That is not what your scriptures say. It's just not. Your leader says that, but your sacred text does not say prove yourself. It's actually the opposite. It says, test me. Let me prove myself. Jerome, please tell these folk I'm not lying.
You are on the money, sir.
The exact opposite. Prove me now, says the Lord of hosts. But it's literally the exact opposite. I don't need Talisha to prove. What you doing, Talisha? What you doing? Whatever she doing, she ain't making no dent in nothing.
In student loans.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But even that, right, tells you everything that you are. So when it comes to relationships, I told somebody this yesterday. They mad at me right now. It is what it is. I told somebody it is what it is because I had nothing to do with it. And I let them know that you're going to activate my free will should you do this. And obviously they did it. So they just hit me with a bunch of scriptures. They would be okay. They will be okay. When you use scriptures as weapons, we are not on the same page. Okay. We're absolutely not on the same page. We're just not even close. You shouldn't even be in my reality. You're okay. When it comes to relationships, I told this person you need to treat relationships like a business. So you're Sheena Curley. So this is the Curley Foundation now. And now you have to ask yourself, does this person belong in the Curley Foundation? Rewind, press play. When you treat your relationships like a Fortune 100 company, you genuinely start hiring for your mate. And it ain't an interview process. First off, you got to be qualified. You shouldn't even be filling out the application if you don't meet these certain specifications. I wish I had an amen in there somewhere. Okay, thank you so much. Right?
Man.
When Curly treats herself as a Fortune 100 company, you approach relationships differently now. Because that's what it is. And what we do is we have all these rules for our business and our money, but none for our heart. And I'm not talking about rules and as in the point of restriction. I'm talking about rules as in the point of I know my worth. When your company is making $1 million a day, you're not going to let everybody touch that, Talisha. This is why people who do hair are always sick. Because them folk heads always dirty. And them energies coming off their heads to your fingers is some serious energetic action, whether you want to believe that or not.
My grandmother said it about masseuse, people who give massage therapy.
You empaths are under attack so much that you accidentally become narcissists because you're tired of being under attack.
I have a question, Antonio.
Yes, ma'am.
It's kind of off the subject. Well, it's really not. We talk about attraction and all this kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask these men. What kind of attraction am I throwing out that one particular guy, every single time that we meet up or talk or whatever, it's to do with sex?
Oh yeah,
it's like he's a sex freako.
Yeah, you met another
what
version.
Is that?
Well, first off, he's a good man. We start there. I mean, good man.
He's a good man.
No, that was total arrogance. That's total arrogance. I was just trying to defend us brothers. That's all. I was trying to make it work, Jerome. I was trying to make it work. Okay. If you keep a woman in her feminine energy, you never have to worry about asking for sex. She will give it to you. Anyway, go ahead, Sheena.
Okay.
I was gonna answer her question. I was actually gonna respond to what you said. Last week I was in Atlanta and I was on a panel of 100 dope men and 100 dope women. And we actually talked about exactly that, treating relationships, not just sexual relationships or emotional partnerships, but all relationships, family, mama, sister, brother, cousin, baby. Like, do you really want to work here?
Yeah.
Am I going to continue to allow you into my space? Because honestly, after your child is 23, you still have to make that decision. Are you still eligible to work for this company? Because my life, where it's going and what I'm doing, everybody can't come.
No.
And if I know I did everything I could to make sure that you could come with me, if you don't come, that's not my fault. And letting go of that, that self-centeredness, which is actually the core of us allowing people to be in our lives that don't need to be there, because we feel like we're their savior, we can help them, we make ourselves the center of that person's life. And we do no one any good, especially ourselves. And we do it in relationships. We do it in relationships. I'm going to stay there because if I leave, they won't be okay. Prove it. Let them prove you wrong.
That's right.
Because how else would you know? You're not okay if you do stay. Or you just have to settle and just not complain about it. Settle and be okay with settling. Or Don't complain about it either way. Either you're gonna have to make hard decisions and everybody can't come, or you just gonna have to accept the fact that certain shit in your life is gonna suck. But that's a choice that only you can make. But you have to make one, or they will make it for you and it will suck. And attracting someone in your life who only wants sex, if you're not, like Tony said, if you're in your feminine energy, then it's easy. They won't have to ask. But if they have to ask, they haven't placed you there. And you made it accessible without them placing you in that energy. So they don't have to, or they feel like they don't have to. And as long as it continues to work, they don't.
I'm saying
That's
it's
why.
talked about all the time. I mean, that's, to me, that's.
Then tell him he don't know how to talk to you. Mind your manners. Watch your mouth. My name is this. This is what you talk to me about. Don't talk to me about sex unless you can talk to me about whatever it is that matters to you.
Yeah, we ain't thinking about that.
That was solid. That
honestly,
was a solid response.
I don't even.
That was solid.
My Gucci don't get wet if all my bills ain't paid. It don't even work. It shut all the way down. It sews up. It is the Sahara. Let me tell you, baby, you can't get in.
Can we clap for that? Because I don't
broke.
see.
I'm gonna snap on that one because I feel you. I feel you. I'm gonna snap. Yes.
That was the realest thing said in 2023.
The bills have been paid. Oh, Jesus.
Let me tell you something.
Don't even get wet if my bills ain't.
I'm doing you the man.
Are absolutely Sheeta. That is for sure. That was a very Sheeta response, but it was facts though, right?
Yep. Antonio, check your lineup for me too.
Okay, that was facts. That was facts.
Yep.
No, she said something. Okay, you want to play that? Yes. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You can do it. Let me just comment. Just play it in like a minute or so.
Okay, he good with the money. That ain't the problem. I mean, anything that I want, but I don't want to discuss sex every time I see you. You see what I'm
saying? Yeah, no doubt. Well, okay, so 3 things here. For one, I mean, Janice, you do look good though. So I mean,
thank you.
You can't blame them that much. I mean,
I'm sorry, I don't know what you heard. It fell out.
Oh, it fell out. Okay. We heard everything. Yeah, we heard everything. You did well.
It froze on my end, so I didn't know if y'all could hear me. I was kind of just ranting to myself.
We was clapping and celebrating what you said. For sure. That's a new car too, by the way. That's a new car. What's that? What's that, a Bentley? I know.
New.
It's something like that. It's something like that. It's something like that, though. It's something like that. Okay.
That's shit.
No, okay, all right. Tomorrow, the Bentley's on the way, she said. The Bentley's on the way. The Bentley's on the way. I literally, before I answer, Janice,
you know me well. It actually is.
I know it is. I know it is. I literally just cut my phone on. I've been having my phone off, like powered off, because I don't know how many calls I miss. I do it quite often because I protect my 5%. Now, Janice, I'm now answering your question now. I protect my 5%. Millionaires get that if you pay attention to the 95%, you're never going to get anywhere. So I protect my 5% by gauging what's happening on my phone. And hear me well, from my social media feed to the notifications coming from CNN to the text messages coming through my phone, I blame them all on me. I'm gonna say this again. Well, you can't do it. You can't talk about what CNN posts. First off, I shouldn't have saw a post that didn't align with my 5%. Just because my notifications are on don't mean I need to experience them. I am trying to help somebody today. So when I look at my phone and I start seeing low vibrational things come at me, like sex only, Janice, I start to realize, wait a minute, I'd gotten off track. I'm trying to help somebody, Grace. I'm not blaming you for the BS you texting me. I'm blaming me for aligning with that. So I cut my phone off, even if it's for a few days. I cut my phone off and I begin to meditate and remind myself, what is my 5%? What are the things I want? And I have a list, I have my note, and I go look at it. And then I start putting on videos and things that match that. Sometimes I need Grant Cardone to yell at me for 5 hours. Sometimes I need Joel Osteen to just nicely talk to me for 5 hours.
Real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the title of your note? Because I want to word it right. Because remember, I hear you say all the time, if you say you want stuff, you're gonna keep wanting it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a terrible thing too. That's a terrible place to be.
Right.
Like
So I don't wanna
wanting
put-
things
I
is
don't wanna
a
put-
very bad thing to
Yeah. So
do.
I don't want to put what I want. So yeah, I was trying to see what you title your note.
Like what I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, the things that you say you have a
Ease.
list.
Creating
Ah.
ease.
Okay.
Creating ease in your life is ease. This is supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be so difficult. It's not supposed to have so much stress. So when Janice gets somebody asking for sex, obviously that's all on his end, right? He expresses his feelings through sex and blah, blah, blah. He's got some sort of trauma, and that's fine. She don't even have to go through that thing. She don't have to go through that. What she should do is go, am I in alignment with me? Because right now, clearly I'm in alignment with drawing people who say sex. Now,
And it means you sexy, sis.
it does mean you're sexy. That's why I was like, please give my brother some grace, because because you can get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that
Stop
in
it.
Texas. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's kind of your faults, but I don't want to blame the woman for being
Well, he do
attractive
say
because
I'm so sensual and so soft and so this and so that. I don't care.
true.
That ain't what I want to talk about all the time.
No, fair enough. I mean, if you like him, etc. There's nothing wrong with that. Just hear me very well, Talisha. I cut my phone off. I cut off my computer. I do whatever I have to do to stop. I'm recognizing I'm causing these things into my reality. This is a very different thing from what y'all say. I'm recognizing it's me. When Talisha texts me dumb stuff, she does not. It's me. It's not her. I'm now aligning with that. I gave her light permission to do this to me. And when you get that, you start to master your own life, master your own emotions. And when you do that, you literally become an unstoppable force on this planet. The reason why Jesus was able to take down his hand and come down with 15,000 meals at minimum, 5,000 meals, not counting women and children. So at minimum, 15,000 meals is because when Jesus lifted his hand, the universe was like, how much karma he got out there? Well, no, I ain't no good karma. Really? Oh, okay, cool. Well, what are you asking for? Like 15,000 meals out of thin air? Yeah. Well, any negative karma out there? No, whatsoever. He ain't got no negative karma. Nope, none. You sure? Let me look. He sure don't. So there's no friction. Give him what he wants. And by the time his hand came down, his manifestation didn't have a time delay. Somebody gonna catch that later, Jerome. A large chunk of the time delay that Trinace is asking for her conference is coming from her own karma. How you are as a customer is how you will get those customers. How you are as a woman is how you would get that man. A lot of women try to become a wife in the middle of giving demands. It's like one of the worst things to do. You're always going to repel people like me away. If you have standards, I had to tell somebody this yesterday. Y'all are not gonna like what I'm about to say. Everybody just press yourself to not like what I'm about to say. But I had to say this yesterday, ma'am. I don't know why you think you're the prize in this particular relationship. I'm not sure what's going on. And typically I wouldn't say nothing, but I'm saying something because I expect you to react a certain way. So I'm letting it be known. I'm the prize. You don't have nothing I want. I have every single thing. Deanna, did I not?
Yes.
I have every single thing that I want. You need me. I don't know why just because you're a woman, you think you're the prize. That is a very toxic behavior. And it is spilling over, real talk, it is spilling over into this relationship. You're not the prize here. I'm the prize. Just because I humbly give you all that power does not mean I don't recognize I got it all.
Well, why don't he act like it? He know he has it. You know, if I'm giving you time of day and, you know, not saying that I'm all this or that or whatever, but I know who I am and I know what I want in life, you know, and if you know the same thing, right, then we should mesh a whole lot better.
So what I would do here in your particular situation, which is a great question you just asked, and I'm gonna let Sheena respond, and then Deanna, you're gonna play the video, and then you can respond.
And after reviewing the video, we it's a wonderful video. We just we won't be playing that particular video.
Not particular one has some language. Language is fine, you know. Language.
No, it's not the language. It's
I trust thine judgment. I trust thine judgment.
It is
it's a wonderful video. So then we gonna get together on three-way, me, you, and Talisha, and laugh about it and talk about it. Okay, that's what we'll do. All right, and say, okay, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. If I was Janice in this particular situation right now, I would say this guy got everything, but he does this one thing. If it were me, I would let it go. I would absolutely
the friendship, the relationship, or just that particular
just
thing?
the one thing you don't like. It's the one thing you
one thing. It really is.
Shit, for God's sake. You proved my point.
Okay.
Just let it go. That's what we do. Because he's expressing himself in his perfect, permissible will, and God loves it. If you're offended by it, then, and by you I mean y'all, then ask yourself, what's offending me about this? And you say, well, he think maybe that's not what he's saying, Talisha. Maybe he's just sexual. Maybe he's gonna do what he said he was gonna do. Maybe you met your match. Maybe he won them, let's go 6 rounds. Maybe that's all it is.
Because I'm telling you, he will not give up. I'm telling you. Do you understand me?
Well, you heard what he said. He act like Antonio. I know that much. Nah. As soon as I heard you say that, I said, my brother. That's what I'm talking about. My brother. You act like me. You understand? You act like me.
That's funny.
Don't you? Would you walking by? I didn't even know her name. Don't walk by me. You know who I am, girl. You know who I am. What's wrong with you walking by me? She ain't know who I was. You know who I am, girl. Yeah, I just felt like she should have bowed to me. That's just what I felt like.
You know, though you didn't say that, your mannerism sure did. I mean, you really like, how dare you walk past me? Like, are you crazy? That was how it felt. I don't know what was in your head, but it was very,
exactly that.
I was like, what? Who? Yeah,
exactly that.
That was a special moment.
Yeah, there you walk by me, girl. You should have had a parade as you caught in my atmosphere. Nah, let's get the organ and come worship me real quick. Don't walk by me. You know, just
that's funny.
This is just my persona. I do this on a regular basis. I really do. I really do. Sheena, did you have a response to that? Because I saw your mic was unmuted.
Oh, no, I was going to ask her, but you answered it already. Is he really that, though? Because that's not equivalent across the board. Some people are the prize and some people are not. Sometimes neither of you are actually a prize and y'all just, in a box together. But is he really a prize? Like, is he really, like, do you see that as?
According to her, she said, yeah.
I do. I mean, that is the only thing that irks me. But
it's a programming in you. Yeah, no, go ahead, Sheena.
Okay, if he really is all those things and he treats you accordingly, the way you made it sound at first is like he doesn't treat you accordingly, and that's how I took it. But if you have no concerns about it and he actually is the prize type person and is treating you as if he wants to be there, you shouldn't really be thinking about sex, no.
Well, you know, I get that.
Like,
You know,
that shouldn't be a concern.
he really is a good guy. He across the board, for real.
Okay.
But that one thing, I'm like, okay, is this it? I mean, you know what I mean? I guess
It's a
I'm
big
just not
thing to him then.
It's a
being
big thing
celibate
to
for
him.
7
He probably
years.
And
came
what
from
will
a
happen
sexless
is
marriage.
he will find someone who will talk about it and be about it. So
I know
Well,
that's
if
right.
that, hey, you know what? If that's the deal, then that's the deal. He ain't meant for me.
No, that's not what that means.
Yeah, she's
Tony
saying the
just told you to let
universe
it go.
wants to be alive. Yeah, she's saying the universe.
Tony just told you to let that one thing go.
Just let that
If you
one
let
thing
that
go.
one thing go, it won't be an issue. Because if he is a
go.
prize,
that's the only thing that
Yeah,
you know.
but it's a programming in you, though, right? Somebody
Of
taught
course,
you to
and of
have
course, it's from my upbringing.
Right.
You know, being celibate for 7 years, and then now, okay, here it is. It's presented to me, and it's always been, you know, I'm a pastor's kid, and all that. You got to do the right thing. You don't have sex before
there's your
marriage,
problem.
so and all that old timey stuff.
There's your problem. You need to update your beliefs. That's it. Because
I didn't
girl, hop on Pornhub, get some classes, and
you need to update
be
your
the
beliefs.
best.
Well, the reason why that's important, y'all, is because this man is just being transparent. And I'm not even trying to I'd love to take up for him, you know what I'm saying? But that's what you asked, though, right? Like this is the problem that men have. The problem men have is y'all tell us to be transparent. When we are, you tell us not like that, though. You know, don't do that. You know, not like that. Like, you say, right? If he's very transparent, that's a plus.
I like it though. You know what I mean?
Right. And
I'm turned on by it when I'm turned on by it.
Well, fair enough. He will apply tact as y'all get to know each other more. He also is going to blow your whole back out because it clearly is telling you that he will. This is clear.
It's very clear.
This is very clear. This man is not playing. This man is not talking. This man gonna pop some blue chew. You're gonna have a whole blue chew night. Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. But
okay, I was trying to be quiet because I was trying to act like I got a halo and I don't think all them things. But let me just say, I said one thing. I didn't have one thing to say. Just one. Just one.
Okay.
I think I would ask. You know what? Maybe I ain't gonna say that. You should. I just think. I just think there's a conversation that could take place that could be a win-win on both sides. And it's just
girl.
Give them some words of how it should be said that might make it profitable for both parties. Because it might be how he's doing it. I don't.
Y'all forget Adonia's a Scorpio. Don't forget she's a Scorpio.
There's a whole lot in there.
Why she got a halo. That halo got whips and chains on it too. They got whips and chains on it too.
Sure do. They sure do.
Okay, I ain't never met.
Stop talking about us Scorpios like that. Just stop
you get you a Scorpio, you're gonna have your whole life change immediately.
I just see I see opportunity there. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just leave it there.
Yeah.
I see opportunity there. And where there's a win on both sides.
And the beautiful thing about this, Deanna, you start this whole conversation.
I was gonna say, like Adonia said, just ask. He needs to put words to his feelings, and there needs to be a discussion about it, and not just a regular discussion, a discussion that don't use words that I regularly use. I know that I'm beautiful. I know that I'm exciting to look at. I know that I arouse you. I understand that. Putting aside all of those feelings, what is it in your mental behind that drive, behind that sex drive? What is it that's moving you to come after me in that type of way? Because there has to be something else, especially since you said that he is that type of guy that's upright. So what else is it? What's your agenda? What do you have? I want all your cards on the table, just like if this ever happens, I want all of your
Don't
clothes
ask somebody like me
on the
that though.
table. I want them off. I want everything off. Let's get naked with the conversation so that we can move forward.
Fair enough.
Sandra,
Remember
like
this.
you're just saying.
Well, no, and you just saying, well, remember,
Right.
we're everything right with this world, we're everything wrong with this world. So if she says that, if Sandra says that, will she be correct? Absolutely. Will she be incorrect? Absolutely. It's both and. It's both and. Because there's always another way. There's always a different way, right? There's always a different way. There's always a way to. Infinity is so big. Trinace can't be right all the time. Okay. It can't be right all the time, right? It can't be right all the time. And I need to pass this back to Deanna. We got to close out anyway. I wanted to say, firstly, Deanna, you're doing such an amazing job. I mean, you must have somebody really must have, been patient with you. I mean, I got to make it about me somehow, Jerome. I couldn't just, you wanted a real compliment to go out there. Come on now. Okay, now I'll give the real compliment. You're doing a great job. Can y'all unmute your mic and clap for her, please?
Yay, great job.
Amazing, Grace.
Thank
you,
Deanna.
Proud of you, sister.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. And what's excited for me is she's being herself. Right? She ain't going to hit step one, get the AI program, and that's my job, right? that's my job. Step one. Phil and Susan got me this book for my birthday. I believe it was my birthday. And it's fantastic. I started reading it yesterday because Phil keep texting me about it. So I was like, you know what, let me open this damn book. So he texted me about it. It absolutely. And I'm looking forward to finishing it probably tomorrow or something. I got to do a bunch of recording today for the conference. That's that. Speaking of conference, it'll be $97 on the 17th. The video costs $97. So if you don't get in, that's fine. But don't worry, because I'm not even selling to y'all. I'm selling to my network. That's about me if y'all get in or not. And then thirdly, I want to point out, I want to introduce to you. So Thursday afternoons are coming back. We've planned on it, but they're coming back. Drum roll, please. With Deanna as the master teacher. And the class will be called Always Becoming. Yes. Yes.
I think you're about to get over tears.
No, that facial expression was, damn, I forgot.
We had this conversation a couple of months ago.
We did.
Yes.
I just didn't know you was going to implement that soon.
Everything is happening very soon. Remember, I want to travel the world just writing books, doing law of attraction things. So there's no reason for you to think for 1 second. Sheena, you look beautiful, by the way. There's no reason for you to think for any reason that I'm doing something normal, because I don't know how, Talisha. It's beyond me how to just do something. I don't have how you do anything is how you do everything. That's what Trinace said. Trinace said, I say that. How you do anything is how you do everything. I'm coming for Netflix specials. I want my conferences to be on Netflix specials. You understand? Like, Netflix original. I want them to buy me. I want them to buy me. That's how epic I want my stuff to be. So just keep that in mind. Thursdays, somewhere around 11 to 12, something like that, Deanna would be teaching, Always Becoming. It's fantastic. Her 3-book series is almost done. It's her thing. That's her. So if Sheena was to die today, but she will not, thank God for it. I will always remember Sheena for something that I got plenty of memories with Sheena, but there's one in particular. Every time I think about her, it's just one thing she said that still blows me away to this day. She said, I change with every breath. That's one of those flagship ideas that every time I exhale, the poison coming out of me, because that's what carbon dioxide would be, is the change coming out of me too. She said, to exhale oxygen is also her essence, the old version of her being excelled to. I will never forget that. Never, ever, ever will I forget that. Ever will I forget that. That was profound. That's one of those things that I'm sure she already has, but if she just stay on that forever, that would be what she would be known for, because that did not come from her. That came from source her. That when I breathe, the old me is passing away with every breath. Man, that's powerful. I'll never forget that. Never forget that. Every single time that I think about her, that's the first thought that comes up. The second one is her teeth. She has these like amazing white teeth. Right. There you go. It's only the second one to say. But that's what I think about. So I want to end you this. I'm doing a lot of great things. Doesn't matter what they are. I will never tell you anyway until they're like done. But how did I get here? Ease. Now, I'm not telling you it wasn't the fight of my life, Grace. That's not what I'm saying. But it was when I realized that the fight of my life was supposed to be for ease instead of being noticed, instead of making things work or taking care of people or whatever the hell I had going on in my head. Everything just fell into place. The fight, and this is stuff Sheena was trying to tell me 3 or 4 years ago. The fight is for ease. Grace, right now, if you wanted to, you can get whatever you want. Just remember, and I've said this before, I don't know why people don't ever hear me. Maybe I'm the only one saying it. Maybe other people need to say it too, so y'all can get it. Maybe Oprah needs to say it. You can have anything you want in this world, Talisha. All of it. God has no problem with you getting it. Unfortunately, since you're on planet Earth, you can only have one experience at a time. While you may be full of the Holy Spirit, you're not the Holy Spirit. You're still in flesh. And even your Jesus can only have one experience at a time. And according to Christians, he was God. Jesus had to point and say, okay, it's healed over there. But Jesus couldn't be over there and do the healing. He had to point and say it's healed over there. And then look at Jairus' daughter. Y'all missed it. It's okay. The Holy Spirit could be in all these squares at one time. Jesus could not. It's just this parameter that this universe has on itself to protect itself. So the moment Talisha goes, man, I want to have a successful business. And then I heard this. I literally heard this. I heard Tanae say it. I heard a couple of people say it. But I need to vet people. Oh, so that's the experience you want. Vetting people. Say less. So you don't want a successful business. You want to vet people. Bring vetting down. What kind of people you want to vet? Well, I'm looking for the right person. So you want a bunch of bad people so you can finally find the right person. You're missing it. That's okay. I'm not even going to repeat it. I'm not even going to repeat it because you're calling forth your experience. It's not choices that make free will. It's when you put these emotions on choices and you have these belief systems, the universe folds to them. That's free will. The universe folds to that. Grace, if you want $10,000 a month, it's yours. Until you have another thing come in your head, out your mouth, then that thing is yours. I don't want $10,000 a month, but I got to make 99 phone calls. Okay, say less. All right, let's get 99 phone calls. Get it in here. It's a numbers game. Okay, so Grace needs a lot of numbers to find one number, so that's what we're going to give her. Talisha started to get it. Y'all starting to get it. You can have anything you want. Deanna can have anything she wants. Grace can have anything she wants. Don't you can have anything she wants. But you can only get it one at a time. Be very mindful of your dominant thoughts, because that's what you're experiencing. Abundance is not what you have. Abundance is what you are. And if you're looking at how to identify your dominant thoughts, just put a time restriction on it, and you will find out your dominant thoughts. She said, I'm gonna get my Bentley tomorrow. She would actually believe that. Well, who's gonna buy it for me then? Or maybe I can do a partnership deal with, should do some crazy stuff like that because she's crazy. But she's been used to making upward six figures since she was what, 21? Something like that? Something like that. Yeah, something. You're like director of nursing at 21 or some crazy stuff like that. It was crazy. So she has a different palette about herself.
23.
23. So when you've been making six figures, she's 63 now. Just kidding. I just know she ain't like that.
I am 64 and a half.
When you're used to that, that's what you get. But I'm trying to warn you, Talisha, don't get used to a level of blessings, because God has more for you. What Sheena should be doing, and I'm sure she is going, how can I get six figures in a week?
Wait a minute. Rewind. Press play.
Don't get used to blessings. Because once you get used to blessings, that's what you become accustomed to. So God can't do anything but six figures. There's a whole palace out there for you. You driving around in $400,000 neighborhoods. This is what happens when we compare what we want to others versus source. Anyway, I've talked too much. I hope I have so much to say, but I don't. I have all these checks I'm getting all these checks in my spirit, Jerome. Don't say that. Don't say that. Like I can feel the Holy Spirit go, nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. I get all these checks in my spirit. It's like 10 of them at one time. If I was going to die today, and I knew I had, and God said, you got 120 seconds, grace timing, 120 seconds to say this one important thing that you had to say, because you're going to be dead right after this. What would I say to you? I would say, find out what you want and make it so big that it scares you. And once you get scared, back up. And back up to it don't scare you. Just keep backing up until it don't scare you. Like go to where it scares you and then back up. And then back up again. And at some point, you're going to hit your current level of awareness's comfort point. You're still stretching yourself, but you can believe in $25,000, not $250,000. Who know what I'm talking about? You know, like you won't get $250,000 in the next 30 days. No, the hell I'm not. Like, so that's too much. You know, somebody will, I'm get 25,000. No, I can believe that. All right, well, go to that one. It's still more than what you got now. So do that one. Do that one. And once you back up to where your soul is at ease with what you just put out there, ignore 95% of the energy in your life and only pay attention to the energy that corroborates and accelerates what you just backed up and got comfortable for. If you don't do that, you allow the devil to operate in that 95% and distract you. That's why Les Brown says the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because all those people got distracted. I'll be recording to the 16th or something, or whatever, 15th. So Deanna, keep teaching. I just cut my camera on because it was so good. John was like, I don't want to be you. I don't want to be you. I don't want to be you. I'm not going to do that. 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 Now she a fish in water with her own legacy, her own brand, her own always becoming with becomers. Like in her book, she called people becomers. It's fantastic. She got 46 of her own principles from her own life by herself. Why? Because it was already and always there. How did she get it? When she just eased into this position as herself, it showed up. That's my message for you. If you need me to shorten it up, it's simple. Back up until you have a place of ease. Go way out there, Talisha. And then back up until you have a place of ease. And then only pay attention to the 5% of the energy in your life that's going to get you there. If I had to die today, I would love to say that, and I'll be perfectly fine with letting y'all know that. Because the rest of the world's not doing it. Go ahead, Sheena, you got it. And then Deanna's on you.
Oh no, I was just gonna say bye.
Oh,
it's been great.
okay.
Y'all are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm in Galveston County today, so hit me up.
Okay.
I'm not in Galveston, but I'm in Galveston County, so hit me up.
Good. I'm in Galveston County. I'm not in Galveston, so that works. Okay, I'll hit you up.
All right.
Give me 10 minutes.
Well, I'm gonna be in a meeting for like the next hour, so hit me up after that.
I'll text you first.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye. Deanna, take a bow. Enjoy it. Take it. Y'all mute your mics and clap for her. Receive it. Don't tell the universe you're not ready to receive. Receive it. There you go.
Woo, yay.
Receive it. Because guess what's coming? Since she's been teaching in my stead, she's got a start for her own podcast. Now, don't she, Jerome?
Yes, you do.
And God knows the fastest, quickest, most harmonious way to get you where you need to be at. It's just typically, in my experience, it don't never look like what I want God to do. I've never had God on my page, ever. Some of you super Christians have. I've never been blessed the way I've wanted to be.
Ever.
Is that a shared experience?
Yes, it is.
Oh, shit. I don't know why we be tripping there.
I'll be having me messed up sometimes.
All the time.
Like
I don't want to do nothing. I ain't never did something God wanted me to do willingly. Never. Tony, no, the hell I'm not, God. No, I'm not. That ain't what I'm doing. I'm doing what I wanted to do. This was my plan. God hit me with rough hands. Y'all get the gentle hands.
No, I don't.
I told you, I'm not getting it. Evan.
I'm so glad you think so, Antonio.
Keep that good opinion about you, huh? I'm telling you what's going to happen. Look, Jerome's gonna be like, Jesus gonna be like, what you do? You know what? Don't get in here before I turn back around. Tell me where I'm get in here before I turn back around. That's the only way I'm getting in. I have used all my grace, Talisha. I have never went through a day that I haven't absorbed all my grace. I use all my grace, Jerome. All of it. I ain't got no rollover grace. Like, remember the rollover minutes? Grace, singular wireless back in the day. I ain't got no rollover minutes. I be getting text messages, my Holy Spirit, at 9 o'clock in the morning. You have used all your grace for the day. Luckily for you, your plan includes more grace morning by morning. So we're going to send you another batch of unlimited grace.
Only 9 in the morning. Wait a minute.
9 in the damn morning, Grace. 9 in the morning. I'm so negative. Sometimes I dream a bad dream. Hell, I'll dream a bad dream about Deanna. Deanna had me up all day. You hear me? She ain't even did nothing. That subconscious can't tell the difference, though, Talisha. Who know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That subconscious can't tell the difference. She got me messed up.
Antonio.
Look at it and go, you make me sick. Use all my damn grace. Go ahead, Renee.
Well, but then that's why God blessed you. Now you work with a young lady named Grace. So there you go. It's double grace for you.
You know
That's why God placed grace in your life right there.
Praise the
'Cause
Lord.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
And
that's right.
lately
You got
she
more
has been,
grace. 'Cause you got grace sandals. There you go.
living up to her name lately. Years
I ain't never
ago,
ran
though.
into a Grace that never lived up to their name. But Antonio, I wanted to ask a question real quick because I was looking for you and you wasn't here. And I said, okay. So you a rapper and you know music people. I would like to get a theme song or a rap for Crazy Weird News. Because I changed our intro and stuff, but I wanted to get something a little bit different. So I wanted to
I can do that.
bring that because I was like, yeah, and I did something different for our show and we had greatest hits and stuff that we did on Tuesday. But I was like, I want us to do a different theme or whatever. So I already have our other one recorded and I did a whole new intro and stuff. So I just kind of wanted like a video to come before us and then we start our broadcast and stuff. But yeah, if you could help me with like a cool rap or something that, and yeah, so that's the idea.
I can do that, and you are very worthy of such an honor.
Thank
So
you.
I got you.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Talisha.
I wanted to bring it. I should have been said it earlier, but
Wait a minute. You are glowing. I thought you was upset and unhappy. That ain't what your energy say. Your energy say you happy. Your energy say you happy.
I am very happy.
Why you be sitting up there acting like you ain't happy with all this glowing energy? I had to put you on
That's
speaker
that
view.
soul
just now.
glow.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Keep going. You're gonna accept my compliment though.
Thank you.
With your happy ass. Nah.
Y'all and God had all the reason for this club.
Good stuff.
Put things in perspective. I wanted to mention when this call first began, the story that Deanna shared about your father. I saw it in a different view of God put, I don't know what your father's in jail for. And it's not like I don't really want to, like dive into that. It's just the fact the glory or the blessing God showed me behind it. I had no idea your dad was a preacher inside the jail. And so when I saw that, it was just like God was telling me, I take what y'all look as bad as good, as if he put your father there for a reason. And the reason was to help all the other souls that are in there that's going through a lot. And that's what I saw when she told the story. I was like, oh my gosh, like we look at these criminals, we look at them as criminals or bad people, or we don't really know. It's like that judgmental way, but we don't know why they're there. But then even y'all, when you first got in there, y'all probably was like devastating, like, oh, how did this happen? Yada, yada. And God, like it came back to the same saying of God always know what he's doing. He always have a purpose. And I just saw the glory in that as she was telling the story, that he's there for help the souls, to teach his word, to show his glory in the midst of what they're going through. So.
No doubt. No, I agree with you for sure. I'll back that up. So each one of us are fragments of the one infinite creator. Did I catch that? And Talisha understands that there's a fragment of the one infinite creator that wanted to be in prison to make a difference. Y'all will catch that later. Deanna, final words?
I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I will see y'all tomorrow morning, but
when is always becoming starting?
Let me get back to you on that one.
Okay. Okay. She's gonna go to her astrology chart
It will be this month. It will definitely. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm gonna tell you.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Okay, you want to tell me? Go ahead. Let's see if you said I'm gonna text it to Grace. In fact, because you might be able to sit on this one. I'm gonna text it to Grace, and we're gonna see if you come up with the same thing. No, go ahead. We're gonna do it now. Let's play this game. We're gonna play a game now. Let's do it
Yeah.
now.
I'm looking.
I think Susan just said something.
August 31st.
Okay, so I didn't text it to Grace fast enough. I was going to text Grace new moon in August. That's what I was going to text Grace. But it was you went too fast.
Oh, sorry.
You went too fast. I was going to text
What
Grace
about Pathbenders?
We are having that tonight at 6.
Great.
Absolutely.
Wait, is there another new moon coming?
Yes.
Well, we have so the new moon for August will be the new moon, which is hold on. The new moon is, why can't I find the date for the new moon? Well, okay, so the August has 2 full moons.
Yeah, very
Well, I
unique.
seen the one last night and one yesterday. So there's another one coming.
There's another one coming. It's actually going to be it's going to be from the 29th through the 31st. The 29th is a Tuesday. It's the first day. Full moons are normally a 3-day cycle. So the first day will be August 29th. The actual full moon itself, which is going to be a blue super moon, is August 30th. And then that Thursday when I'll start will be the 31st.
Yeah, so Deanna's a full moon person. I'm a new moon person. It's completely, it makes sense when you think about who we are. It makes complete sense.
But I'm also loving the new moon energy. I've been doing some reading. I'm loving the new moon.
I don't have anything to let go. So there's no reason for me to be guided by the full moon. I don't have anything to let go. You know, I don't have any trauma and all that stuff. I am a creator of things. I am a pioneer. I built things. So new moon energy makes sense for me. She likes water. I like trees. Makes sense.
And the crazy thing is, I'm an earth sign and he's a water sign. But I like water. He likes earth.
But the crab can go in and off. Right? In and off. It makes sense. You know.
In and out. I
am at my full power in dense trees. She has had a full power with flowing water, right? Living water, blah, blah, blah. It's different class. Actually, that's going to come up in Pathbender, but just not now. In Pathbender today, we're doing 2 things. We're going through Pathbender chapter 2, and then you need to be, Urantia next. So God bless it, you all. You need to be ready immediately. We're not going to the whole Pathbender book. We are, but it comes back up in different phases. It comes back up in different phases. So in the middle of your rancho, we'll read Pathbender. We're going to do both. We're going to do both. You're getting both today, just so we're clear. So God bless y'all. I am sorry. It's going to be, you might need to get some popcorn for tonight. Popcorn for tonight. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. August 31st, you said?
August 31st. And it's also
my
birthday.
And I don't remember a time where a month had 2 full moons. I'm sure it's happened before.
It has, but it's rare.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Antonio?
Yes, sir.
That's where the term blue moon, when you have 2 full moons in the same month.
Yep. Absolutely. Incredible. So Diana apparently. Yeah, well, feeling Grace. Since our birthday's in August. There you go. Some good energy going on there, huh? Good energy going on. Good. Well, Deanna, you finish your last words.
Thank you all so very much for joining us. We will see you tonight. For those of you who are a part of the, my brain just went blank. For those of you,
Pathbenders.
Thank you, who are a part of Pathbenders. We shall see you all tonight for Pathbender. For those of you who are not, we will see you tomorrow morning. And I just want to tell everyone, thank you so much for joining us. You can plant better. You can dominate. Love you all, and we shall see you soon.
Love you more.
Love you more. Get your tickets to Exploring
you.
Alignment.
Yes,
Love you
please.
more.
Get your tickets to Exploring Alignment.
Yes.